Giving us a little while to put together what's going on so we can give you a briefing. I want to introduce a few folks that I have here with me. I have John Scatta, who is a special agent in charge for the FBI here locally in Austin, and I have ATF Special Agent Alan Derrick, who's the resident agent in charge out of San Antonio, along with members of the Austin Police Department's executive team. We had an incident occur this morning in the 4800 block of Old Fort Hill Drive. Residents called in and reported that there had been some type of an explosion that had occurred in the residence. Again, this was reported at 6:44 in the morning, and they reported that there were 2 people that had been injured in this explosion. We immediately had police officers responding, along with the Austin Fire Department and Austin Travis County EMS services. Upon arrival, the police officers, the EMS technicians, and firefighters went to the residence, and what we found was an explosion had occurred inside the residence. There were 2 people that had been injured. One of those persons has died of their injuries. We believe this person to be a 17-year-old male. The other was an adult female who was transported to a local hospital with what we believe to be non-life-threatening injuries. What we understand at this point is that early this morning, one of the residents went out front and there was a package on the front doorstep. They brought that package inside the residence, and as they opened that package, both victims were in the kitchen and the package exploded, causing the injuries that resulted in the young man's death and the injuries to the adult female. This incident is being investigated right now by the Austin Police Department's Homicide Division as a homicide. What you see behind us is a very strong representation from both the FBI along with the ATF. We have the United States Postal Service out here with us again on this investigation, given that this was a package that was on the doorstep. What we can tell you right now is the United States Postal Service has reviewed their records, and that we do not believe that this was at all a delivery that came through the Postal Service. And we're checking with our other package delivery services as well, but the initial indication from them is that this was not a package that was delivered by any mail service. So it was placed on the front doorstep. The incident is very similar to the incident that occurred in Austin back on March 2nd. And if you'll remember, that incident also occurred in the morning hours when the victim in that case went out front and found a package on their front steps that exploded, causing that individual's death. That case was being investigated as a suspicious death. It is now being reclassified and is now a homicide investigation as well. We are looking at these incidents as being related based on similarities that we have seen in the initial evidence that we have on hand here today compared to what we found on the scene of that explosion that took place a week back. We are looking at anything that might tie these two together, but again, what we've seen on the initial review of this scene, and we're very early on in the investigation, there are similarities that we cannot rule out that these 2 incidents are in fact related. So with that, I want to put out some safety messages. First of all, we want the community to be aware that this has happened, and obviously there is the possibility that these are related. So if you find any suspicious packages on your front porch at your residence, do not handle them, but instead call 911 and let us come out and take a look at those packages and ensure that they are safe. Again, if you've received a package that you were not expecting, that is not from someone that you expected to receive a package from, or for some reason gives you cause for concern, then call 911 until we've gotten to the bottom of this and cleared these cases. Again, we believe that the possibility that they are related exists, and that's what you see behind us is a very concerted effort between all of the agencies you see represented here today, because we are not going to tolerate this in Austin, and you have seen every stop will be pulled out, and the federal agencies have all jumped in with us to lend us a hand and to bring this to as quick of a resolution as possible. So we've got the FBI's evidence recovery team is en route. along with the ATF's National Response Team. There will be a very large post-blast investigation that will take place at this residence. Through this investigation, we will gather all the evidence, collect the evidence, and get it into a lab so that it can be analyzed, so that we can again have this case ready for prosecution once we find the individual or individuals that are responsible for this. So we again are in the early stages of this investigation, and as I've said, we do see similarities and believe that these cases are linked at this time. However, we don't know what the motive behind these may be. We do know that both of the homes that were the recipients of these packages belonged to African Americans, so we cannot rule out that hate crime is at the core of this, but we're not saying